Hit the big. Hey, we are live at Click Connect, special Friday night audit. Stay tuned. Greg Sullivan, you have got the most amazing shirt I've ever seen in my life. What is that all about?
Hey, that's promoting our other show, 3 Minute Thursday.
Holy shit, dude. What have we done? The mistakes that we're making right now, unbelievable.
We're going to haunt us for years. Are you kidding me?
In the nick of time. Unbelievable.
Guessed everything.
I can't believe it. I'm excited, Craig. I got to tell you what a long week it's been. I have no idea what's going on. Let's get it started. What time is it, buddy?
It better be time for an audit because we're together. We're live. We're flanker.
And yeah,
Vegas.
And we got somebody here. We're going to find out who that is in a second. Dave, come on, do your job. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the one, the only Friday night audit. I'm Vegas G. I'm striking back. Who we got over there?
I don't know. Flanker, maybe.
No, you're Craig Sullivan, brother.
Oh, that's right.
All right, let's introduce the guest right now. This is a guy I have respected for a lot of years. He's helped reinvent modern nightlife here in Vegas, totally transforming everything. Then, man, you opened up an incredible steakhouse over Resorts World, one of the top in the entire town. And now we got a sports bar concept. So like I said, I respected you, but then you said you would do this show. Sean Christie, CEO of Carver Road Hospitality. What were you thinking, man?
Well, I heard it was all about fun and messing around, so
Yeah.
that's right up my alley.
Nice.
So maybe I should have got into PR if you only knew the truth of what's going to be going on over here.
I'm ready. I feel like a ping pong.
All right.
Fun.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think we're going to need to get you a little closer to the microphone. Sorry, don't worry. I don't need to see Craig. He's not
cool.
very attractive, so don't worry about it. We got producer Dave in the background as well today. So we're at Mandalay Bay coming to you live today. So I'm very excited about that. Brand new flanker, kitchen, and sports bar. So I got to ask first question for you. You got Rick Moonen in a closet in the back over there?
Rick Boonen is around in town, and I believe came to our opening.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, I said that joke for
A
me.
couple housekeeping notes. First of all, the reason I didn't play the audit video right away was because I was trying not to be rude because you guys wouldn't shut up. So I was just trying to be good to you guys.
Thank you, producer Dave.
There was a little chatter in the background
Number
over there.
two,
For sure. Yeah.
Glenn, be a professional. Look at
Why
me.
should I start now?
Look at me when you're talking. Don't look at your guest sitting 35 steps from you, okay?
It's just so
Look at
weird
the
because
camera.
he's right next to me.
Yeah,
He's right here.
Okay,
He's right.
Speak to our
Yeah.
viewers. Okay, great. So now that we can actually have a professional style show.
Thanks for schooling me. After over 1,200 podcasts, I'm glad I finally learned how to look at the camera.
You're still gonna fail. It's okay. But what are we drinking today, guys?
Well, soon, momentarily, we
Water
will be
right
drinking.
now.
So don't worry about it. It's coming out in 1 second. So you're going to have to hang on to that. But I made that Rick Moonen joke. This used to be RM Seafood, which is a great restaurant. I had a fantastic run. He was an awesome guy. So pretty cool that you're taking over this coveted space over here.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I used to go to Rick Moonen and always.
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to look at you. I'm going to get in trouble again. Sorry about that.
You're a bad influence to our esteemed guest.
I know.
Always respected Rick, great chef. And
Yeah.
I used to come to the space.
Yeah.
And then when I was an executive at MGM Resorts,
Nice.
this was closed during that 10 years.
Right.
So always had my eye on this so that when the opportunity came around to, work on this project, I was jumping at it only because Rick had a lot of success here for a lot of years.
Yep.
And really with the stadium entrance next to us felt like it was a great,
there.
literally
Yeah.
directly behind us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, Craig. Dave, run that drink video now. Now, Dave. Cocktail time. Craig Sullivan, are you going to be able to bring that magnificent thing in? Hey, thank you, sir. All right, check this out. We are going to be drinking a beer tower today. Oh, my goodness. How cool
Look
is
at
that?
this.
And I like the angle because it blocks out Craig completely.
Yeah.
That is absolutely perfect.
Well, listen, guys, you guys might be in Vegas with beer towers, okay? Yeah, that's fun, sure. But you can see my name is Bethlehem Day, Dave. So while you guys are in Vegas, I cannot wait to be in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, later
Right.
Sunday, because
All right,
that's
hold
the place to actually be.
Nice.
It really is because Bethlehem is really known for what is it, Wind Creek now that the Sands
Yes,
people sold it.
Wind
Yeah,
Creek now. So let me tell you, there's the nightlife in Bethlehem is second to none.
yeah.
Vegas has nothing on the nightlife of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It is just active.
Yeah. All right. So first, before we get into the drinking, since we're still pouring right now, hey Melissa, sorry I didn't text you back. Yeah, I totally forgot. I meant 2 o'clock local time. Sorry about that. My apologies. So what are we drinking today? What kind of beer do we have here?
We got a Hefeweizen.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a Hitachino White Nest Ale.
Nice.
One of my favorite beers.
nice. Well,
Nice.
here, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Happy
Thank you
hour.
for having
Cheers.
us. Appreciate it.
So you're
David.
a Boston dude.
I am
Right?
a Boston dude.
Oh,
That's pretty
God
cool.
damn it.
I got
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's okay. I mean, now people.
I
call
hope
me-
producer Suzanne got a picture of David holding his head. That was priceless.
Yeah.
when I got to Las Vegas, people used to call me Boston Sean, and now when I go to Boston, they call me Las Vegas Sean.
God, there you go.
You drive the car when you go
Move
to
the-
Vegas.
move the
When you
drink
go from
out.
Vegas to Boston, you're driving the car.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I kind of lost
Wicked
that,
car.
but my entire family definitely drives the car.
Well, you had to because you wanted to be respected here in town, right? I mean, one of the first things I did is I stopped talking like I was from New York because if you're doing that, no one's gonna take you seriously.
Wait, very important question here
Like
from our
you.
good friend Chris. Where are you guys? Because he's going to be in Vegas in 2 weeks. He wants to go.
And chances are you're going to be here at Mandalay Bay because
Yes.
so much. So we're at Flanker Kitchen and Sports Bar today, brand new sports bar concept. Sean, you also I do want to talk about Boston in a second. But I do want to say you kind of tested this concept in Salt Lake City as well, and I know it's had incredible success. And sorry for looking at him, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, we have our first flanker location is directly across from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, home of the Utah Jazz.
Yep.
And then actually in September, we opened a flanker Arizona at State Farm Stadium.
Oh, cool! I didn't know about that.
Wow.
In partnership with Bet MGM. So hosted the
Oh, seriously?
had the Super Bowl there this year, and coincidentally, this upcoming year, have it in Las Vegas.
I know that is great. I can't even imagine. I can be able to sell right here.
Coming?
Was that Dave?
When is the flanker Bethlehem, Pennsylvania coming?
You know what? If the Sands calls me, we'll
Yeah,
we'll
right.
definitely make a trip.
You'll be there. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
for sure. All right, so thanks, Dave. Great. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Thank you for pointing out the obvious over there. Why do you produce? We got to get Suzanne to do the on-air producing over here. Dave gripes about professionalism while wearing flannel.
So you guys are becoming quite a sports town now. You Golden Knights just won the Stanley Cup. You've got the Raiders are looking, at least for preseason, no questionable on the quarterback, but the rest of the team's looking good. And you got the A's moving over here.
Yep.
And you're going to get a new stadium for them. And
actually-
NBA's coming as well pretty soon, or
A's, and actually in Mandalay Bay is the home of the WNBA champions, the Aces, who brought Las
That's
Vegas their
right.
first professional sports championship.
They play over
right.
here. I didn't
Yeah.
know there was a.
They play in Michelob Ultra Arena. They
Right.
played last night, and
Oh,
they're
cool.
the #1 team in the WNBA.
love it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Congratulations.
And over just to draw a parallel to that, up at Mohegan Sun, they have a WNBA team that plays out of there as well, which is kind of cool.
I thought you were going to say
and-
David played out of there.
And Mark Davis owns both teams, the
Yes.
Raiders and the Aces.
Ace.
Oh wow!
And Tom Brady's one of his partners on that.
And
too.
Tom Brady is one of his partners. I'm not sure on the Aces, but certainly in the Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You know what? Maybe you can get him out of retirement.
Now we just need the A's.
Yeah. Hey, Mike says Oakland A
Exactly.
is about as professional as Dave's flannel.
I don't even know where the flannel. This isn't even flannel. I don't even know where this is coming from.
I don't know, but I did see 2 Nirvana T-shirts in a row in 2 different groups of people today. So there is early '90s in the air, I guess.
I mean, Mike lives in Florida. They don't know anything about fashion whatsoever, so it's fine.
Yeah. So what's it like going over the Elysian Stadium over there?
Well, again, you walk out this door, and then on game days, the entrance to Allegiant Stadium is right over there. But Vegas is always about high energy. I mean, the place that we have here is about creating something and kind of giving it a super size, or its best personification of that. I think the Golden Knights really, I feel like, changed sports with their halftime shows, their pregame and intros and things like that. And I think that the Raiders, with things like the Winfield Club and the way that they're doing halftime shows and things like that, have also, from a football perspective, really changed the kind of entertainment narrative as it relates to, the in-game experience at the stadium. So I think it's a wonderful stadium. You got a great team. And by the way, I like the quarterback because he's a former Patriot.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Nice. And thanks for bringing us back to Boston. So I think I got a sweet spot. I got a sweet spot for Boston, mostly because it annoys Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
And secondly, what I think about it is my son's going up to Brandeis there now,
awesome.
so I have a chance to go
school.
up there. Yeah, not great bills though. Well, for them,
I'm glad to hear though that the reason you like something is more about me than actually involving your kid. So it's good to know that I have top placement.
well, yeah. Well, what are you going to do? I probably spend
David,
more
who's
time
your
than you.
daddy? Who's your daddy, David?
Dave, I see you cashing those big checks I send you every single month.
Every single month. Someone's got to pay for my landscaping job, my landscaping work.
Hey, listen, I am generous. I was going to say I did get you that Habit Burger last month. So,
Excuse me.
thank
So,
you.
Sean, the real question, as a very professional restaurateur and who know a lot of things, really good things about the industry, this is probably the most important question you're going to get asked on this show.
Oh God.
No,
Do you like In-N-Out Burger?
Dave is
In-N-Out Burger is my favorite burger in town.
Oh.
Aside
Oh, he's from Boston. He likes. Can we get him off the show?
aside from what?
here we got
Yeah,
a great
of
burger.
course
that
you do.
Chef Daniel does. But in terms
Yeah.
of a drive-through, I think you cannot beat In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah.
Can we
Also
rotate
lived
guests?
20
Boston In-N-Out Burger. Like this is just not. And I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Hi,
Good.
David.
Thank God. Finally, we're gonna
I
have
got
a
him
little,
out.
yeah, finally quality
Checking a lot
entertainment
of
about to happen.
boxes.
Yeah. Well, you guys got this double Wagyu burger, 2 quarter-pound patties, bacon, onion, jam, American cheese, and
That sounds amazing.
That does
That
sound
sounds
amazing.
excellent.
What about a half-pound truffle burger with Creekstone Farms patty, caramelized onion, Swiss cheese, pickles, fresh truffle aioli, and a truffle jus? You want that, Dave?
Very
I want
tasty.
all of the things that you just mentioned.
Look,
There
they
you
don't
go.
they don't have that in In-N-Out
So,
as much as I like it.
Back in the day when you were still parking cars and stuff like that.
I was. By the way, I was a valet parker.
Were you?
I
So,
definitely was.
well, tell me what that job is like. Are people cool to you? Do
Look
you
at
ever-
this thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but look at this truffle burger.
That looks
It's
delicious.
delicious.
Yeah.
Chef Daniel Ontiveros, who is our executive chef
Yep.
for the company and also helms Carver Steak at Resort World, is in that kitchen, developed the menu, and really always delivers an excellent product. And the burgers are really fantastic and special here as well.
Yeah. Now, one of the cool things is we had Sean on No Vacancy Live. I want to say February-ish of last year or something like that, right? And I got to go from the main offices, and they had like the test bar over there, and I got to meet the executive chef. And you were just then getting all set, I think, for the opening of Carver Steak, which opened last year. I'm forgetting the exact time.
December 29th of 2021.
Right. So, wow.
Nice.
So almost last year.
Almost,
Wow.
yeah.
Things are flying real quick over here. I can't believe Resorts World's been open 2 years last week. That's insane.
2 years
What?
last week. Came in 6 months after they opened. But yeah, they just had their 2-year anniversary.
We covered that opening.
I know. I was there.
He was there. Yeah.
That's insane. That's actually pretty sad. I can't believe it. I thought that was just like last year we did that whole show.
I know. I think ever since March of 2020, time has morphed and changed and stuff like that. But you were preparing for that opening and working on menus for a really, really long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, in the process for any restaurant or any development, you put typically about 18 months into a project. This was 16. Carver Steak was actually a little bit tighter timeline related to them wanting to have a steakhouse. That was about 14 months. But the research and development, which is one of the more fun parts of the job, and also one of the most important parts of the job, is about a year process of figuring out what we want to have, how we want to be special, and how we want to try to wow people.
So, did you like get tired of eating steak after a year of trying things? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I love steak first and foremost, of course. I love beef. In my daily life, I eat a lot lighter. I eat a lot of fish and things. But part of the fun of Carver Steak and Flanker here at Mandalay Bay is going around 2 different places with our team and seeing who really delivers the goods around the country in Las Vegas, and then trying to learn from, people who really deliver an exceptional product and expectation. And so that forces you to get out of your bubble. All restaurateurs, all hospitality people, work day and night. So anything that forces us to get out there and see excellence in the country and the world, is really important to the business.
And how important is that to you constantly evolving your menu and the experience for the guest? I've got to think it's got to be the lifeblood for this. What is it? Every 24 months or less, you have to really go through and change everything, don't you?
I mean, people always want their favorites as it relates to the things that they expect and that you become known for. Kind of your greatest hits is what we refer to it as. But we try to actually have a seasonal product. So a couple times a year, have seasonal menus. Take off things in the summer, like a French onion soup, put on things like maybe a burrata salad as it relates to a Carver steak or scallops or this or that. But full menu deconstruction is probably every couple of years. And then, several items here and there as it relates to seasonal cocktail menus or items that feel more specific to the time of year, especially when it's 110 degrees out tomorrow in Las Vegas. And nobody wants French onion soup is super important to make sure that the consumer feels that you've got the pulse of what they want and how they should feel.
How long has this restaurant been open now?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. It's beautiful in here. I love
Thank
the
you.
private dining rooms and just the whole vibe in here is great.
I mean, the lights above us are inspired by the F1 racetrack that's coming to Las Vegas in November. So that was kind of a fun tweak. The concept that we did here, of course, is a big screen behind us. That was inspired by, basically the pool at Circa.
Yeah,
got Stadium Swim.
Stadium Swim is so cool. Could you explain it real quick for people who don't know?
So Stadium Swim, I don't know, it has to hold a couple thousand people, but is a kind of a party pool, which in Las Vegas is super popular. Back in the day when I worked at Wynn Resorts, we did one called Encore Beach Club. So imagine a party pool, but instead of the headline talent being DJs and entertainment, it is sports, and it's led by state-of-the-art technology. And so one of the concepts that we have was, how can we do a restaurant sports bar that can live when there are not sports on? So, when you have Stadium Swim, which, people always want to be in the sun, especially if you're coming from a climate that's colder, that is a draw. So for us, it was a matter of, well, how can we make a restaurant that when there isn't, an activation at Allegiant Stadium, or like right now, I would say we're in the kind of the 80 to 90 day window of sports not being prevalent on television until the fall. We just came off the NBA finals, the Stanley Cup, which of course,
but you got baseball. That's real riveting.
You got baseball. I mean, baseball people, again, because just been, doing Sportsbar my whole life, but baseball is something that people like to watch passively. So it's great to have it on the screen. And to watch the Red Sox or the Giants or whatever it may be. But with the game speeding up, that helps. But really toward the pennant race is when the interest for that comes up more palpably, which coincides with, September, October, which is when sports really kicks back off.
Right. So it's interesting. So you actually get a chance to kind of ramp up over this summer period. But I want you to know, Sean, your legacy of developing Encore Beach Club lives on, because I saw a lot of guys yesterday morning suffering after getting in at 5 a.m.
That just means they had a fun time.
They really did.
Sean, I want to ask you a question. I'm looking at your events page, and I have 2 events I want to hear kind of about. First one, because I am a overweight Italian American based out of New York City. What is the
don't forget has bad fashion sense.
What is the pizza party?
In the basement.
What is what?
Pizza party night.
Yeah, so the late night pizza party is kind of a fun way of saying that we're open late with food. When we came What's interesting about the Mandalay Bay is there's thousands of room. It's connected by the Mandalay Place, which we're officially in. We're at the
Right. But 3 feet that way is the
Mandalay
casino
Bay.
proper. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in front of the House of Blues. We're the wall behind us is Michael Jackson, and to the right of us is the sports book. To the left, as discussed, is Legion Stadium walkway. But in casinos specifically, especially being people who live here would know that it's really tough to find late night food. So what we wanted to basically say is that we're expressing the idea that you can come here after 10 p.m. and eat. So pizza, which we have a fantastic pizza menu. We serve till 2 a.m. on the weekends. Our bar's open, and there's really very limited options for anything other than kind of going to a sundry store or leaving your hotel. So that's our fun way of saying we've got a really cool bar that serves food late after 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. on the weekend.
And let me
Love
me back that up. We had a little situation last night. I brought a childhood friend with me, Brian, into town. He hasn't been to Vegas in over 20 years. I wish he was here to talk to us about that, but he's having an issue at a gaming table, I think, right about now. So he couldn't make it over here. But what I really want to say was we came out of a show last night. We went to go see Absinthe. I haven't seen that, I think, in like 10 years. It was so, I forgot how freaking funny it is. The guy who plays the gazillionaire and the woman who's currently playing the character Wanda, their improv skills are top notch. We were dying laughing, but all that laughter made us hungry. And we rolled out of there at 11:30 and there was no real place to eat. And we found ourselves at, no offense, but we found ourselves at White Castle. And I would much rather have been like,
I think actually at Caesars, if I remember correctly, when you walk in on the left, they have Cafe Americano.
They do. That's 24 hours. Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting because Cafe Americano, which I've been to, isn't something, I think it's a good place, but it's not, Carver steak. But the fact that it's open 24 hours is actually what stands out, which is to say that there's a scarcity of late night food,
right?
But there's not a scarcity of people who want to eat it. So again, kind of tongue in cheek, late night pizza party was the idea to be able to say it's a fun atmosphere. We don't take ourselves serious as it relates to that, but we do take the food serious.
So as someone who isn't really that familiar with Vegas, I've been to Vegas once in my life. We all know the horror story behind that and our commute back. But, so coming from New York, there's late night food everywhere here, right? And in Vegas, even more so, right? You have the shows, like you said, Glenn, they dump out late. You have the 24-hour casino floors. So there should be, a lot of activity. Yeah, the clubs, everything's open, either late or 24 hours. Why would food be so scarce late night when you have so many people that are up in these late night hours and obviously going to be most likely drinking, most likely or potentially doing some other illicit things? All of those things equal hunger. Right. So
wait, we're in Salt Lake, right? Not
okay. Explain Vegas behind it. Why are more establishments not taking advantage of that late night demand?
Well, first of all, operating a kitchen in a way that you can actually have a quality product is expensive. Cooks are not cheap, nor should they be. And, you have to have dishwashers, you have to have bussers, you have to have runners, you have to have all of these very important pieces that cost a lot of money. So if you can't drive volume, late night food is kind of like lunch. If you sit and you have a restaurant that's popular and you want to really devote your time, energy, and effort to lunch, you're committed to about a year build. And so when it comes to late night food, if you have to be prepared to take lumps and have some really slow nights.
Right.
But the most important part is can you be consistent? And is it reliable that if you say you're open till 2 a.m., you're not closed at 1:30 and then you disappoint people?
We were going to go get some falafel. We showed up at 11:54. They're like, sorry, closed.
Right.
Yeah.
And so again, I just think it's a financial commitment. And again, with all of the expenses that restaurateurs and hospitality people, especially with inflation going on, incur these days, it's really an investment. We're making that investment day one. And I think over time, people definitely want it. I think that will grow as well. Hopefully we're a, kind of a leader in that category where you can get a good meal late, and a quality meal. At
Well,
that.
yeah, I'd add, besides what Dave was making the point about the nightlife, is the city's having a higher emphasis now on concerts and stuff like that. And when you go and you have a great time at a concert, you want to eat afterwards a lot of times, so I think we really need that kind of stuff.
Well, remember, when you have a concert too, that's another nuance to it.
Yeah.
Remember, concerts in places that hold 5, 10, 15, 20,000, 60,000, they need a lot of space. So when you walk to and from, you have all this real estate that on a game day is certainly very active, but think about the travel that you have to get to, basically when it is not a concert. So again, it's a very nuanced thing. Our location here, because we have the escalators in front of us of Mandalay Place, there's activity around us 24 hours a day. So it lets us have the ability to make that investment, which I think is an important point.
And did that lead to your decision to utilize this space as opposed to somewhere else in town? Because there's a lot of great casinos that could use a product like this.
Well, actually, my friend, the chief hospitality officer of MGM Resorts, really good friend, former colleague, Ari Castrati.
Yeah.
Because when I was an executive at MGM Resorts,
he just moved over there, like 6 months ago. How long has Ari been over there in that job?
Ari has been the chief hospitality officer since 2020 or 2021.
Wow. Yeah.
So a couple of years.
And old
So,
Glenn,
I guess, I guess he was one of those people that got an email saying he was staying with MG.
Yeah, that's right. And he's an important part of the company.
Yeah, he really is great.
And he's a great friend. So basically he had said, look, got this great space and, this location next to the House of Blues, next to, Michael Jackson, all these things, and Allegiant Stadium, the business can't be predicated upon Allegiant Stadium because that's about 60 times a year, which is awesome. But then you have all these other hours and all these days. So we felt like it was the perfect location to activate on non-Allegiant Stadium days. And then we love the fact that in Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Four Seasons, Delano, and Excalibur, there's a cluster of interior walkway that's about 10,000 rooms. So speaking to a mid-premium concept that speaks to, what we like to say is American favorites with knockout steaks. We have Muhammad Ali statue out front.
Beautiful.
Kind of a wink and nod to that.
Yeah.
And sports, we feel like that we've got the right concept specifically for this space and for this cluster of resort rooms.
So speaking of knockouts, I saw on your events page that you're also the official sports bar of UFC 290. That's correct? How did that come about?
We got a great relationship with the UFC. The UFC thankfully is headquartered in Las Vegas, and just developed relationships with them over the years in previous companies, including what I was at MGM, kind of continued to grow that relationship with that organization. I think in terms of professional sports, they're one of the gold standards. Dana White, not only is he a leader in professional sports and a visionary as it relates to what he saw and what he did, he's also a great customer at Carver Steak, and he has got to be maybe the staff. He's one of the most generous people in town as it relates to everything, including tipping the staff and taking pictures, not with the staff because we don't allow that, but with guests and things like that. So it's really just an evolution of them being in town, us having a great relationship. And again, I think we got a great place. I mean, we got this 25 by 9 by 8 by 6, 1.4 millimeter LED. So we've got the best technology in town.
Move your head, Glenn. Move your head, Glenn.
I love it.
Move your head.
Speaking of
Greg,
wink
here,
and a
don't
nod, this art piece that's your lighting package, you said that's the F1 track.
It's inspired by the
Right.
F1 track. I think that, again, we were trying to do sports. I think
It's over Glenn's head. For everybody.
I mean,
I'll show it again.
When you walk into a sports bar, a lot of times there is nostalgia around sports and teams and things like that. And I think actually, if you're trying to do something that can live beyond sports, it's important to have something that, is what I'll call evergreen.
Yeah.
So the touches that we have that are sports related are subtle. And really it's the idea that you're finding details. So the track is inspired by the fact that in America, the only F1 race at night is here in Las Vegas. It's got a 10-year deal. So I figured, when we were talking to the designer, how are we going to create something that wows people? This is a pretty cool statement piece when you walk in. And then how does it tie back to something that's important professionally to sports and the community. So we
Yeah,
spoke
and
to
that's
that.
brilliant. I don't know if you've ever been to the stadium in Los Angeles where the LA Football Club plays.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, and one
Yeah.
of their restaurants, they've got an art piece that is the interchange in downtown LA hanging from the ceiling.
Oh,
and
cool.
it
Yeah, I didn't
spans the
notice
whole
that.
restaurant.
The LAFC.
Yeah.
Yep.
It used to be the Bank of California Stadium. I did
Oh,
a
cool.
tour there and put it on one of my shows, and it was, I was just blown away by it. It was a great idea, and I love this with the bringing an homage to the F1 race. It's here. It's just a great idea.
Yeah, subtle touches that don't hit you over the head with sports, because we
Yeah.
felt like that with screens and television and technology, that speaks for itself. So how do we do that in a clever way that lets people feel not intimidated as it relates to, well, I'm not a fan of sports, but I'm a fan of good food, good service, and good environment. So hoping to speak to both audiences.
That's funny because I'm not a fan of sports either, but I like being in the atmosphere because of the sociability of it, right?
Yeah.
And if I ever get a chance to go to a professional game, that's always a lot of fun. So I got a question for you. Do you feel like you're competing with the fact that the sports book is right there as well?
Yeah,
I mean, that's my next question.
It sounds like it could be a good addendum. I go place a bet over the air, and then I come to
I
a
was
different.
gonna ask, how are you guys influenced or related to the book since it's right there? I mean, you guys kind of have the best of both worlds that you can place a bet, but then come see it on the big screen right behind you.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a culture of wanting to sit in a sports book and go up to what is called a wicket and place a bet.
Right.
I think what has changed as it relates to that is I like proximity to the sports book because I feel like we're in the right, geographical location and the right kind of energy. But look, BetMGM is one of, or if not the largest provider of sports betting in the world.
Yep. And
so the thing is now you can actually you can sit in a luxury environment. The sports book does not have, they've got a grill, but it's a limited menu. It's not always open. In here, you can sit in a custom banquet chair, table, get great service, and actually have, kind of a 5-star meal while you bet, because you can do that on your phone. Or if you're the type of person that wants to go place your wicket at the wicket, a bet at the wicket, and, old school, have your piece of paper, which I like to do. We're literally a 3-minute walk, which is just to say that you can walk out, come back in. So you kind of have best of the both worlds, but technology really gives people the ability to sit here, enjoy, and bet on your phone.
Do you think that there would be any opportunity, and this is obviously a down the road question, but you're talking about the little kind of grill they have there. Would there be any opportunity for you guys to?
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to cut a deal with MGM. We do have a takeout window that is open during the day from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Oh, they have food there too?
Yeah.
Right out front.
That's funny because you see so many of those little windows. I just presumed it was alcohol only because that's typical.
No, we do have alcohol, but we do have things that you would expect, like turkey wraps and chicken fingers. And I would say elevated. It's not frozen products and things like that. We make everything in house. So everything we try to do is, without pretense, but also, is an elevated standard as it relates to what you might expect in a quote unquote sports bar, which this is so much more than that.
And it's a lot more than a sports bar. And, even though you've got screens everywhere, which I think is really a great addition, because no matter where you're at, you can see something, but it's not overpowering you. If you want to watch it, you can. You want to hold a conversation with somebody, you can. And this place just screams fun to me.
If I'm with Dave and I don't want to have a conversation with him, can I have you turn up the volume a lot?
Absolutely.
So I don't have to
Yeah, I mean, we brought in, one of my friends, Dan Agnes, does all the big festivals and nightclubs. We got state-of-the-art sound in here as well. And then actually,
nice.
Being on the West Coast and sports, ending around 10 p.m., we actually have a full package for our screens and our television, so that it is not just a repeat of Sports Center. It actually enhances the environment to make it where people want to come, because one of my biggest beefs about sports books is you just sit there like in a sports book, after a certain amount of time, it's just a repeat of a game, or maybe they play an old game.
Right.
I don't actually think people care about that.
No.
So for us, I think it's about how do we make the lighting correct and how do we make you feel? And I think that we do a good job, even though that we're 3 weeks in, we're going to get better of enhancing that environment using technology to not just have Sports Center on 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, if you're catching Sports Center in your room and you go out to an event, you come in here to have a late night, dinner, and you're seeing the same thing, it's like, okay, this is boring. No, and that's part of the excitement in here. I'm seeing things on your screens that I don't normally see in a sports book.
This isn't, I mean, again, we're here during the day to
right,
sort of put it in context. At night, you would see something a lot more dynamic and also well lit. And everything that we have here, we have the ability to dim to a very low percentage or high percentage. And we take a lot of pride in the way that, we use technology and lighting and sound to make you feel so it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
But we always have a, good ambiance and energy that's appropriate to the time of day or night.
I love it. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. We've got a little bit of food coming our way just to piss Dave off over here.
Yeah, I'm about to get real mad. Actually, you can see my face, didn't you?
I know.
Look at that giant pretzel.
That's
gotta
pretzel.
Love that.
Yeah.
It kind of fell, but you get the idea.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty cool.
Oh.
Well, at least you got the cover on the phone.
Did it fall? Hopefully, it fell right on the mixer. Since I'm going to be so jealous, I'm going to be really bitchy right now.
Yeah. Sorry, the mixer still works.
Go ahead. Give me like one camera so we can one shot it and see all this amazing food.
All right, which camera are you gonna go with? All right,
we're gonna let Sean introduce it.
Up, guys. Yeah,
these are the salt and pepper chicken wings.
Salt and pepper. You could also get buffalo or Korean gochujang as well,
which is this.
those
right here.
nice. Oh,
nice.
Which are, again, Chef Daniel is a master at that. And then we've got some lobster rolls on toasted brioche bun, which I'm about to show you in a second.
Nice. Look at that.
Ooh,
absolutely beautiful.
And you can get a steak here. You can get steak fries. We actually have brunzino on the menu.
Oh, really?
We have brunzino, we have roasted chicken, we have salmon, we have poke bowls. So you can go highbrow, you can go shareable favorites, you can go bar food. So really it's just, what the consumer wants, being in this location and being sports centric.
Gochujang. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
You got to appeal to everything from a casino guest to a family that went to the WNBA Aces or a game.
Right.
And, I feel like we've got options for all of those things.
Yeah, awesome. Craig, could you pass over a plate?
Yes.
So while you guys kind of pick some food here, I want to really discuss my trip to Vegas while you guys kind of sort this out, because one thing that I remember a lot of, and I don't remember much of it because I was pretty much blacked out the entire time, was the food options, and everything outside of In-N-Out Burger was really good. One of my favorite diners, I'm not even sure if it's still there, was Americano, whatever the hell it's called, over at New York.
American?
I still
Oh my goodness!
Oh wow!
think about what else is coming out. You're killing me.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, yeah, a giant. That burger that you showed a picture of before just came. More food's coming.
You know what this reminds me of, Glenn? When we did the show at where the hell were we? Hotel Xena, and we had the pre-tasting, and we had the best burger ever. So, Sean, tell me how you kind of come up with these menu concepts. Obviously you're talking about it's got to cater to a wide range of people, and you have the certain type of demographic that you want to be in. So how do you come up, not just from a taste perspective, but also from a financial perspective?
Well, we have a great team that works on this. I think that because as it relates to flanker specifically, and, we have a double the size venue in Salt Lake City. So we were able to have a proof of concept. We then expanded that in Arizona. So I think we had a general idea in base going into it. But then, like I said, our VP of Ops, Steve Geddes, he's been around, Charlie Palmer, disciple, master som, chef, Daniel, our executive chef, and actually the entire team. We sit down and we go over it, and we make sure that, look, this is a business, we're professional. There are costs and there are prices that we have to consider. You put in things like restaurant 360, 365, that you price out things to understand, can we afford this? Will we have the ability to sell enough of them to have it on the menu? And then actually what happens is you open, you put your best foot forward, and then the customer tells you shortly what they like, what they don't like. And then you menu engineer as you open. And over the first 3 or 6 months, like we were talking about earlier, in terms of change, you have to understand, is the juice worth the squeeze? If you
Right.
will?
Yeah, totally. So it must get complicated because you might have a dish that is actually really good, but maybe the menu description doesn't get people to do it. So you probably have to really think about the approach on several levels, because maybe it's not the dish itself, it's some other elements that are affecting it, or maybe that seasonal thing you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, that's a really good point.
Mhm.
You know, there are times where you get too clever and people are in marketing, marketer first. But
that's so funny. I just saw a restaurant of the old school kitchen nightmares with Gordon Ramsay back when, in the early friendly European days.
Yep.
And he had a whole thing on that. He had the menu was so complicated. He brought it out to the people. Do you understand what this means? And do you understand? And they're like, and they just didn't order it.
Yeah, and even ingredients. I mean, there's a balance, because when you're trying to have culinary excellence, you don't want to just say we've got a hamburger. You had this beautiful description of our smash burger.
Right.
Sometimes that can be too much, and sometimes it can be just enough. So you're trying to balance.
You had me at onion bacon jam, by the way, on that.
Yeah, and again, and then a lot of times, like, there are certain items over the years that are going to be in your top 5.
Right.
And a lot of times, again, typically in a restaurant, if you put a Caesar salad on it, it should be a top seller. But if I try to make that too clever,
right,
and it doesn't sell, and I look at a product mix, then you're sitting there saying, where is it on the menu? Where's the place? How is it described? And there are just certain items that can help guide you as it relates to kind of menu formatting,
right,
and descriptions. And I think that's part of the process of opening too, because
I love you talking about that. Maybe this is No Vacancy Live versus Friday Night Audit, but and I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to ask you this. How often are you reviewing those menus and those mix of sales and identifying, your top sellers versus your least performing sellers, or items that need to be removed from the menu because they're not selling anything?
Or maybe it's something that reveals itself pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, look, there can be surprises. We love to be surprised in good ways, not bad ways, but we look at a product P-mix every week. And then even sometimes if we run a special on our nightly reports, you get an email of the business and things that are important to the business. And, you're getting real-time data. I mean, we can look at, with our various POS systems, anything. So you're constantly evaluating. And then also, having said that,
oh my God,
if you fiddle too much, you can be your own worst enemy. I mean, you got to put the bait in the water and let, the fish come also. So I think there's a process there of too much nitpicking, but pretty quick. I mean, the first 30 days, you have a general sense of the likes and dislikes of what your menu is, and hopefully what your menu needs or doesn't need.
Well, Chris said he's going to be coming here in 2 weeks when he's in town. And he also wants to know, are you thinking about brunch? And, how do you handle different day parts and when to pull the trigger on that?
Yeah, I mean, again, another great question, which is to say that we'll be open for football season. Sundays will be open
you got to be open early.
Yeah, on a game day, because the games,
start at 10 a.m.
So remind everybody, the West Coast is 11 o'clock.
That's all for the pregame.
And I guess European football and stuff like that will be ridiculously early too, if you have great days for that.
Yeah, European football, I think that when they, not quite as much, but American football, certainly you've got to be open, an hour before the game, potentially even an hour and a half.
Right.
And actually, I think this place presents better at night because of all the technology that we have. I mean, again, if you're to see our bar, we got a beautiful bar. And actually, what's interesting about this is, again, we can actually close off our entire bar and lounge so you don't see the screen. And we have the capability of really enclosing the venue to compartmentalize it, which is important. But
kind of what I do with most things I do in my life,
There you go. But
I thought you were going to say you did that with Dave. I tell you, this cheeseburger is by far the best one I've ever had. It's amazing.
Thank you. I'll tell the chef.
Yeah,
and this is really incredible.
So
everything we've had so far has just been absolutely amazing.
That's awesome to hear. I mean, there's obviously a lot of pride that's put into the food that comes out here. I've only got something to do with it as it relates to commenting on it. I have no technical skill whatsoever. but we like being in the dinner business. We want to establish that first, and then I think a secondary portion of this place will be developing that lunch business.
Yeah, that's interesting because you come from that nightlife world. So I think naturally you're going to hew towards dinner and stuff like that because it's the same kind of beginning of creating that energy for that nightlife experience.
Yeah, it's that. Look, we're a company that has adrenaline energy. And I actually think that if you spend a lot of money, we spend a lot of money to build, again, beautiful banquettes and technology and these things. The consumer that goes out at night spends more. It's, it could be double, it could be triple.
Right.
They also buy things like this beer tower here that we have, which is over 100 ounces of Hitachino draft beers. So
we're on our third one, by the way.
The beverage component is super important as it relates to, look, it's a business. We got to pay back and deliver to the investment. But more than that, I mean, again, because of our racetrack at night, I feel like that to start the kind of later hours speak more to this. And then if we're so fortunate, we would love to open a lunch, but for football, we will be open in the fall for sure.
Nice.
That's
So what do you do? I mean, you're in Vegas, right?
Dave gave me a little. Dave, I got a little crab dip here with some nachos and stuff. Sorry for the presentation.
You're in Vegas. You have a lot of restaurants.
Split up on plates. I'm sorry. What's that, Dave?
No, I'm
saying, so Sean, you're in Vegas. You have obviously a lot of restaurants and all the various casinos have different themes, and there's other restaurants in your same category that are around the city. So, how do you, as a restaurateur who has run and developed and created successful restaurants, how do you get your restaurants to stand out versus the others?
I mean, it's always about hiring the best people. I mean, as I said, because I grew up, my dad owned restaurants. So I grew up in a restaurant, and so did my grandfather actually. And even in college, really, I pivoted more toward nightlife. So when I say I'm kind of a marketer first, you could be as good a restaurateur as you want. If people aren't here, you have no restaurant, you go out of business. So we have a lot of programming, a lot of marketing, PR. We focus on those things. But then after that, I guess, which is just to say every business, you have to have a good culture and you have to try to find the best people. I know for myself as the CEO of the company, what I'm not good at. I cannot cook.
Right.
The mechanics of the restaurant, of course I know, but I'm not the person who's going to run that as efficiently as someone else. So it's really trying to identify the weak spots in the company and then bring in the best talent that you can afford and that you can convince to come work with you. And that's what, by the way, that's what all the best companies do all the time.
You surround yourself with the best possible talent. You never want to be the smartest person in the room.
No,
fortunately, all that.
I didn't graduate college, so I know that's not me.
Well, unfortunately for you, you came on this show, and there's no talent or smarts happening over here. So
that's right. Hey, listen, I just want to point out one thing. He says he didn't graduate college. So many people in the hospitality industry came up that way and have been so successful. So many CEOs of the major hotel companies, and Sean is like really a testament to what you could achieve. So you don't have to think about college as everything, particularly if you're going through these different tracks. I bet it did not hold you back at all, Sean.
No, well, what's funny is when I was in Boston is such a learned city. I think it has the most colleges per capita in America.
Super Bowl victories, that's for sure.
And Super Bowl victories, but Harvard, MIT, all these great schools, BU, BC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, so when I was in Boston, I always felt almost like a second-class citizen because you're dealing with finance, education, all of these things.
Oh, I thought it's because of your Irish background.
And my Irish background.
Hey.
We got both of us over here. Yeah. But when I came to Las Vegas, as it relates to hospitality, my eyes lit up because Vegas, everybody who was here, whether you're a valet parker or you're a restaurant manager, you are a professional. And that's a huge difference in this city is that there are very few cities in the world that present themselves as professional, restaurant and overall hospitality. Whereas when I was a valet parker, when I was 19 years old, that wasn't a job that you could make six figures at. But I came to Las Vegas and some of the first people that I met and befriended were valet parkers at MGM Grand. Yeah. And it was such a lucrative job and they owned homes. I did not. They owned cars. I did not. And I was like, wow, this city is, a city of opportunity for a person like myself. So recommend going to college, but as it relates to, why I started at an early age, it's just, experience is the greatest teacher always.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish colleges and stuff taught you more of the real world part of stuff instead of just the philosophy behind it. So I'm encouraging my kids to do internships and stuff like
100%.
that. What year was it you came here again, Sean?
I got here in 2000.
In 2000. Wow.
Wow. So you've seen
And my
all
first
this
job was
growth.
at the House of Blues right across
No
the
way.
Was it really?
What role did you have over there?
I was a music hall manager. And Andy Massey, who was also founder of the Light Group and founder of a big company right now called
So
Click Management.
everybody should know Light Group was one of the major nightlife companies, and was about 10 to 12 years ago they all started consolidating and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I was in the company from 2001 to 6, and then of course I started my own company, and Andy and Andrew, who are the founders and my bosses, continued that, but got bought by the Hakkasan Group, and then Tao Group bought the Hakkasan Group, and now I don't know if it's the largest.
I don't know, but I feel like there was another company that was pretty powerful around the time Light Group was. It also got consumed by one of the.
Oh yeah, I'm
bigger
sorry.
ones.
Hakkasan Group, in addition, bought Pure Management.
That's
Group.
it, Pure.
Yep.
Yeah, we were. I was just looking at Omnia last night over at Caesars, and I was totally
The old
blanking
Pure.
on what it was before. Thank
Pure.
you for that memory boost.
And Stanton Social, I believe, was Pussycat Doll Lounge.
Yes, it absolutely was.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last night
Yep.
when I was with my buddy. I was like, "Oh, the last time we were with you, they had that thing and with that woman," and we had to Google it before we could remember Pussycat Dolls.
So there's been a consolidation, and now Tao Group again is what Light Group was, is what Pure Management was, is what Hakkasan was. Of course, it's much more than that. It's in their own personality, but yes, some of the best companies in the world are here, and if they're not here full time, they have an outpost. So being here and not necessarily having that education, but seeing people succeed in spite of that was really inspiring for me.
So you must feel some sort of sense of
Absolutely.
some sort of sense of pride when you look at House of Blues over there, and now you own this place over here. Do you allow yourself to feel really good about it?
Yeah, I mean, again, as I said, the first House of Blues was in Boston, right off of Harvard. Harvard campus.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
And the company that I work for, which is still around in Boston, Lions Group Management, managed the very first House of Blues, and then did 1996. They did the Atlanta Olympics, and then Andy came out here out of that, and I was still working in Boston. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, you got to come out here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." I landed out as a music hall manager, worked there for a year, and as we were opening this place, and I mean, again, I'm literally looking at the music hall sign over there. A lot of great memories and flashbacks. And yes, I do allow myself to basically, think of my aspirations way back in the day. I never thought I would own anything. I aspired, but yeah, I mean, to be sitting here, come full circle and be
What a great story.
50 yards away makes me feel great. And I think also is a testament to, basically what anybody can do, irrespective of your education.
Did you work upstairs at the foundation room as well?
Yeah, I did actually. And when I was there, we started a party which was the first time it was open to the public, on Monday nights, called Godspeed.
Okay.
And so worked up in all the venues, and great company to work for. Again, 20 some odd years.
I should say Craig holds a little grudge because he used to be a private member over there, right?
Yeah, okay.
So Sean, before we
Service industry night.
Sundays.
I got to meet everybody who worked here, and it was great. And the cigar locker up there. It was coming up, bringing in dinners. One of our people who is in charge of one of our trade associations, Andy Ingram, he was up there, and I'm throwing a dinner party, and I was crossing the bar heading over to my dining room, and he saw me, and I said, "Well, what are you doing?"
Buddha or Ganesh, I think they're called, the private dining rooms.
Yes. So I said, "Well, join us for dinner." And for nearly 15 years, he was telling stories and always bringing me a Cuban cigar every time he saw me someplace.
Nice.
And by the way, the foundation room is still very successful here, and as is they did a great remodel at the House of Blues, and
nice.
They have a great product, so we got great neighbors.
That's great.
So Sean, we're about to wrap up, which is crazy how fast this went. But I have a question for you. So you have your Vegas locations. You have a couple locations out here in the city, in New York City, and then you have the Emmy's Pizza. Pretty much all over the place, which is awesome. It looks amazing. So are there any other markets you're looking to infiltrate in the coming days, months, years, or are you kind of focusing on
How about
Vegas?
Smithtown? Smithtown, Long Island?
Yeah, I'd love to be in Newport Beach. Anyone in Newport, call me.
I'm calling you right now.
We're in as I said, we're in Arizona. I love that market. We got a flanker at State Farm Stadium in Glendale.
It's so cool.
I think Phoenix and Scottsdale is a great market. We're already there. Being from Boston, I think it would be appropriate if we were to be there. It's a short train ride from New York. And, being a relevant hospitality company, I think these days probably wants to, at some point, be in Miami.
Yeah.
Seems like all the brands are there as well. Places like Nashville, where the headquarters of Emmy Pizza is.
Yep.
Nashville's a great city. So, the way that people used to think about where you needed to be, I think, over the past several years, things like that have changed. Dallas would have never contemplated, 5 years ago, Dallas to be a major player in hospitality. It seems like everyone's there.
Yeah.
So always looking at markets that make sense and that we can actually execute, kind of what we stand for.
I got a question for you. It being in the stadium, how does that work? Is there an entrance inside, outside? Because you can't just be open those game days.
Yeah. Again, it's very similar to, but we have a freestanding structure about 50 yards outside of.
Okay. So it's just the property.
The Great Lawn.
Nice. Yeah.
And actually, it's the first brand that has a sports book in it in America with the NFL. So it's a partnership between Carver Road Hospitality, the Arizona Cardinals, and BetMGM.
Wow.
So that's kind of the cool part. But the owner of the Cardinals thought the same thing that you did, that if they're going to have betting, that it shouldn't just be available on game day, and was able to, in partnership with BetMGM, build a structure outside of the stadium. And that's where then he needed a brand and an operator to, kind of make the experience not just a sports book.
That is fun, Dave.
Well, listen, there is just so much more that we really could talk about, but you guys want to go enjoy your food. I want to go and get my own food because I am hungry and jealous, but I want to hear more about Sean's plugging himself. So we're going to go to the best part of the show.
That's right. It's a moment you turned in for, the Plug-a-Palooza, the chance for our guests to make shameless plugs for whatever they want. Sean, Christie, plug the hell out of Carver.
Yeah, I mean, Carver Road is a, hospitality company that's under 3 years old. We're all over America.
I can't believe that. Seriously, I can't believe how much you've achieved in such a little time.
Moving quick, life's short, so got to move fast. If anybody catches the quote first. But
9 times.
9 times. So
no better.
Swing. Sitting here at Flanker in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, right next to Allegiant Stadium. As I said, MJ, we've Carver Steak at Resorts World. We're on 48th and 8th at Civilian Hotel. We do all the food and beverage, and really all on we go. But anybody who's in New York or Vegas or Arizona or Salt Lake City, go check out a Flanker or Carver Steak, or as I said, our properties in New York City.
Are you looking to develop even different and more concepts?
Yeah, just by DNA, I think anybody who does this is always developing stuff. We got a couple partnerships that we're going to announce in the next week or two. So
nice.
Always developing concepts, hopefully that people like.
Yeah, feel free to announce them right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the deal, and actually we will be announcing it in a week, but I don't know.
I know. I'm just messing with you. I can't. The loyals will get so pissed. Yeah, I know. Craig, how about you? You got a plug?
Hey, Click Connect. We're filming new episodes next week, and we're making an announcement on the California Lodging Investment Conference, our location. I've got contracts to review. So
March 6th and 7th, right?
March 6th and 7th in Orange County, California. And hopefully we can get Sean down to Newport Beach to open up a place.
Yeah.
And, we've got a live Friday night audit coming up again soon. We're going to be in Boston, New Hampshire. So
yeah, next week we're going to be in New Hampshire, and then we're going to be live on July 28th from the rooftop of Dream Hotel. Actually, with Tao Group operates that space.
Hollywood?
No, in New York City.
Oh, New York City.
Yeah,
right.
He's coming in. We're bringing out Dave's going to come. We're bringing out somebody from Dream. We're going to go do a live show from the rooftop and then go see this band Fish. So that should be a whole lot of fun at MS.
Celebrate my birthday.
Yeah,
and have some fun.
That's a good birthday.
Now Dave is general manager of the Even Hotel Midtown East, and Dave, you got a cool thing going on there with the art exhibit.
Yeah, no, we've just released earlier this week. We did the partnership at the High School of Arts and Design. So, for those who don't know or didn't see the episode of No Vacancy Live, it's basically the premier arts high school in the city. So, I think it was 3,000 kids enroll and send in portfolios. About 350 actually get in per year. So, we're talking the top talent. And we'd be able to kind of do a partnership with them where basically, we're going to be displaying those kids' artwork in front of all of our guests. So a large, wide range of diverse eyes are going to be experiencing their work. But B, we're actually, and it went so well this year that we're going to expand it next year, offering to kind of be a guinea pig business. So for all of their students, they can come in their different departments, the ad agency, for film making, digital marketing, and they're going to basically use us as ways to enhance and experience business experiences with a real life business and hear that critique and that rejection. And that's how we actually got them to create 2 brand new murals for us, where the ad agency came in and worked with us from concept creation all the way to execution. And so it's a good way for us to kind of give back, work with the Midtown East community, help develop young professionals, and give something unique to our guests, which is, artwork that you cannot find anywhere else, or would not be able to find anywhere else unless you broke into the high school. So we're pretty happy with the partnership.
All right, great.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to come by and see it as well, Dave. I want to thank everybody for being here. Make sure you check out No Vacancy Live. I know our schedule's been a little sketchy, but when I'm traveling, I've been trying to cut down on the live shows that we've been doing lately. Next week, though, we got a couple of great shows for you. I hope you all have a happy July 4th holiday. And we'll see you next Friday. Craig and I will be somewhere in New Hampshire. We don't know where yet.
But
we'll figure it out.
It's certainly not Boston, New Hampshire, like Craig said, because that's not a place.
All right, let's get out of here, Dave. I'll hit the ending credits. Oh, you did it. All right, see you later. Bye.